Hello there and welcome to another interesting episode of the interview. Today I'm delighted to have members of the Tangale Association here in overseas to have a conversation about what is going on right now in Gombe State and specifically Billiri concerning the cessation quote-unquote crisis of the my Tangale that is going on right now. So today I'm privileged to have three members, who are all here in the United States to have this conversation. They are the representatives of this wonderful organization. So we'll be talking. All our discussion today will center around this issue of cessation, and especially the governor of Gombe State, his refusal to hearken to the will of the people. Gentlemen and lady, I'm delighted to have you join me for the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
All right, so today I have Mr. Lamela Lakorok. Pardon me if I do not pronounce
that is
your name
actually
very well.
correct.
Okay, he's the General Secretary of the organization of the Tangale community organization here in overseas. And I also have Andele Tadi, who is a pastor, who is also here in the United States, a member of the committee to look at this issue of cessation. And we also have our mommy here, Mrs. Helen Bako, who is also a member of this association. So for someone that is listening to this, that is following this, that may not understand what we're talking about, I want to start with you, Mr. Lamela. I want you to give us a context. What is actually going on in Tangale land right now?
I'm going to give a little bit background first about the Tangale community overseas. We, the Tangale people, are loving people who are citizens of Nigeria from Gombe State. Those of us that are relocated across decided to unite ourselves together, love one another as brothers and sisters for the progress of the Tangale land, and decided to form a group called Tangale Community Overseas with the goal of making progress in Tangale land. Our slogan is Kalkwi Amdo Kasan Tonduwe, which means unity, love, and progress. Our first official meeting of the organization took place in 2000 in South Carolina. And we have members came from Canada, Texas, and California, all of those. So that's the organization that is called Tangale Community Overseas. And some of our goals are, a few of our goals are render moral support and economic support to all members, promote and foster and protect our cultural heritage, encourage mutual inheritance between Tangale community and other community around us, to contribute towards the social, economical, cultural, technological, and scientific development of our towns and villages through community development and service and grassroots empowerment program and project. And we liaise with also some other organizations that have like-minded goals, like Dorcas Ministry and Africa Center for Mentorship. So this is the basic, this is just the principle, this is the organization that we call Tangale Community Overseas.
All right. All right, thank you so much. I think that is a very good background. So talk to me a little bit about, still talking to you, Mr. Lamela, talk to me about, probably I should be addressing you with your second name, not your last name.
Fine.
Talk to me a little bit about what is actually going on right now in Tangale land.
Yeah. After the passing away of our my Tangale, the Kingsmen elected the new Dr. Musa, to be our representative. So there were 9 Kingsmen. 5 of them appointed Musa, and other 2 appointed another candidate, and the other 2 appointed another candidate. So out of all of them, 5 of the Kingsmen decided to appoint one person. So he got 5 votes. And the other 2 votes went to one other candidate, the other two votes went to the other candidate. So that is the choice of the people of the Tangale land. And that choice went to Dr. Musa.
Permit me to interject a little bit. When you say kingsmen, who are you referring to?
Okay, in Tangale land, there are what we call kingsmen. Tangale land is divided into various villages, and all of the head of the villages are called kingsmen. And these are the people that are responsible for electing the next Mai.
Okay.
So that's what I mean.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Andele and Telem can help me elaborate more on that if.
Yeah, please, sir. Andele, if you want to come in.
Yeah. Let me begin. Oh, first of all, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Let me begin by mentioning that our brother Lamela actually is referring to kingmakers instead of kingsmakers.
Yeah, sorry.
So, yeah, and there are 9 kingmakers in Tangale land. 8 of them are district heads of the different district that we have in Tangale land, and one is the Waziri Ngari. So, based on our cultural traditions and customs, when a king dies, these 9 people come together to select the new one. And usually you have people from the royal family who are interested that will apply. So when those people apply, the 9 kingmakers come together to select one out of all the that applied. So what happened in this situation is that once the person is elected, that person automatically becomes the king of the land. And what does this mean? This means that the Tangale people's traditional process of having a new Mai is congruous, is in harmony, is in tandem with basic democratic principles of justice, fairness, and the rule of the people. Why? Because these kingmakers, they represent the people. So Tangale land has hundreds of thousands of people. So these 9 kingmakers represent hundreds of thousands of people. So what happened in this situation is that after the kingmakers came together and they elected Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba with 5 votes as the winner and as the new Mai Tangale. The governor was supposed to make an announcement that Musa is now the king. So this is a new thing with the coming of democracy. Now the governor is the one to, the word used in the law is to approve. So I make announcements that this man is now the new Mai Tangale. So that very day, the governor didn't make the announcement, and the following day, he didn't make the announcement. As we speak right now, he hasn't made the announcement that Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba is our new king. And so people are fierce in their heart, and within the process, we got information from credible sources that the governor actually has a preferred candidate that they want to impose on the people. And so the people know about it, and it was very clear that there was a commissioner who though is from Tangale, is from Biliri local government, but is not a Tangale man, who was prognosing on the issue, and he was kind of trying to make sure that that particular candidate, who is the preferred candidate of the governor, becomes the man. So people know about it. You know, in Nigeria, there is nothing hidden. No matter what you discuss in your room, the message goes out. So we know that there is a candidate that they want to impose on the people, but the people have spoken, the Tangale people have spoken, that our new Mai, based on our traditional customs and based on, you know, the rule of law, the fact that democracy says that the person with the highest number of votes becomes the leader. So Musa is our leader. The governor of Gombe State became governor by majority vote. That is democracy. So so that is why the people are protesting. They are not happy with the fact that the announcement is being delayed, and because they also have all of this information. So that is why we are protesting, and we are hoping that the governor will listen to the voice of the people and do the needful and announce Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba as the Mai of Tangale.
Thank you so much. That gives a very good background. I want to talk to you, Mrs. Bako. Talk to me a little bit. For some of us that are not part of the Tangale land, we want to have a very good understanding of what is going on. Both Mr. Lakorok and Pastor Tadi talked about, these 9 kingmakers that are saddled with the responsibility of electing the next Mai, and they have already done so. What particular document? Because he made Mr. Pastor Tadi made reference to democracy, democratic rule. I want to know what particular document stipulates that this is how it is supposed to be. Is it like a Tangale document, or is it the state government, a traditional? What document are we referring to?
Thank you so much for having me on your show today. I'm extremely happy to be here to give some clarification as to what is happening in the Tangale land. As a matter of fact, as this incident unfolded, my father, who is 92 years old, I consulted him. I said, Dad, can you tell me about the Tangale coronation? How has it been? And my father explained to me on how the Tangale people normally appoint their chief. He gave me example that the Tangale appointed my Tafida, who is actually a Muslim, my Ilyasu, my Wana, and then the late my Audu Mesheru, whom we are still mourning his death. And he said that the kingmakers, as Andele pointed out, normally, gather and, appoint whoever they want to make as their king. And the person that gets the majority of votes is the person that is declared the chief. And so during the death of the late chief or governor, came to the Tangale land to console us. And, during his statement, he made statement as to he was going to support the Tangale people, whatever the Tangale people decide, to whoever they decide to choose as their king, as their chief, he was going to support them. And as you can tell, the Tangale people were so excited and so happy. Now, the documents that Andele was referring to, according to the Constitution, and I'm going to ask Andele to quote later on because he has those documents. The Gombe state government decided that once a chief has been chosen by the people, the governor would ratify immediately that chief. And so the Tangale people were expecting that to happen.
So sorry to interject. So these documents we're referring to, these official documents, are actually state government document. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
All right.
A state government document.
Okay.
And so he wasn't to appoint. The people, the community are to appoint. And he is to ratify. He is, to immediately, ratify that appointment. And so the Tangale people were expecting that would take place. And so when that didn't take place, have experienced things that has really caused them to begin to wonder if, the same thing is going to happen. Case in point, we have Justice Beatrice, who was supposed to be appointed as the Chief Justice of Gombe State, being the senior justice in Gombe State. She was not appointed. They kept delaying it. And up to this point, this woman has not been appointed, even though she's the most senior, she qualifies. And as a matter of fact, I understand that the National Judiciary Council, the NJC, had asked the Gombe state government to submit her name as part of the candidate that will be considered as the, as the person to lead Gombe State, they have refused. They had sent letters twice, and the state government has refused. So the Tangale people, and Beatrice is from Tangale land. And so obviously the Tangale people have that at the back of their mind, thinking, is the governor going to do the same thing that he has done with the appointment of Beatrice? And so that's why you see the agitation from the people of Tangale land.
So I don't know, Andele, whether you want to read the document, the particular section that says that stipulates this.
Yeah, she's talking about the law on the creation of emirates and district, and also the appointment of emirs and head of district and chiefs. So we had the 2004 law, and that is now obsolete. And I've had people quoting it, even government officials quoting that 2004 law. It's obsolete. The 2020 law that was worked upon by the Gombe State House of Assembly is what we have, and it was assented to, ratified by the governor of Gombe State, Governor Alaji Inuwa Yahaya, in January. And the specific section of the law that talks about the crisis we're having now is what I have in my hand. It's right here, and I'm going to read out to you. Part 6, appointment and discipline of traditional rulers, appointment of an emir or a chief. Number 20.1 says, upon the death, resignation, removal, or deposition of an emir or a chief, the governor shall approve, that is the word, shall approve the appointment of an emir or a chief on, this is the condition, on the recommendation of the Council of Traditional Kingmakers of the Emirate or the Chiefdom. So the law itself says that the traditional kingmakers of a particular chiefdom or emirate will decide. They will, after they have done the election, they recommend to the governor, and all the governor needs to do is to approve the person who is now chosen and has been presented to the governor. So we have a situation whereby, from everything we're hearing, and it's very, very clear all over the place, that the governor is intending not to approve and announce the person that the Tangale kingmakers have chosen with 5 votes. That is more than 50%, 5 votes out of 9. So this is the law, and the governor, if he does not announce Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba as the new Tangale, he himself is not following the law. He's not following the rule of law. So that is the situation we are in. So this is the document we are using. And in case I have heard from okay. Sorry.
No, I wanted to say, you made reference to something 2004 or 2014 document. Was there a particular law in place that was amended in 2000, or why are people making reference to another document?
While I'm not a lawyer, I have read that document. It's in English, so it's very clear. While I'm not a lawyer, but I've read that document. What I've seen is that there are people who are quoting a section of that 2004, the obsolete document that says that the governor has all the powers to appoint whoever he wishes to become a king. In fact, according to that, if I'm correct, it doesn't even have to be somebody from the royal family. However, people who are making reference to that document have not read the document in context. The context of that particular section is the creation of a new emirate or a new chiefdom. Now, politicians in their own in their own way of trying to gets political acceptance, they create new emirate and new district. When you create a new district that is not existing, you don't have a royal family, no royal line. So of course you have to appoint somebody from anywhere, people who have supported you politically. That is a 2004 law. Now that is obsolete. We have the extant law now. And in case of the Tangale people, we are not a new emirate. We are not we are not a new district. Tangale land has been existing for hundreds of years. So we are not new. So that law is being misquoted, and the law is obsolete. It shouldn't be used now because we have the new law that the governor himself has assented to.
So that is still talking about that old law. Was that how things were done prior to 2020?
We are not really sure. So you see, we have not experienced this kind of crisis where a governor refuses to announce immediately the person who becomes demise. When the late Mai Tangale, Dr. Abu Buba Mesheru, became king, if I remember correctly, he won with one majority vote, and he was announced as the next Mai Tangale. So we didn't have this crisis. So it's really difficult to grasp the situation where you have somebody with 5 votes and you have a governor who has a law that says he should approve the person and he's not doing it.
And if I can step in, you asked the question if this has been done. It has never, ever been done in Tangale history, and no government, no governor in Gombe State has ever stepped in to interfere in the appointment of a chief of a certain area. So this is the first time that this is happening. And you know, the news out there is saying that the governor had requested the Tangale people to submit 3 names. That is absolutely not true. The governor had, normally would ask, as we have read, for the people to appoint and submit. And that's what the Tangale people did. The kingmakers who represent the district, the people, appointed Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba as the chief, the next chief of Tangale land. And so they submitted the result of the election because there were 3 people that contested. And so when they submitted the names, to the governor, it was twisted. People are twisting that usually people submit 3 names. That is not true. If we wanted to submit 3 names, why did we have to make an election? Why did the kingmakers have to vote rather? So the reason why they voted was to make it clear that, and this has been our tradition, the Tangale tradition, they appoint their chief through the kingmakers, and it has always been ratified. The government has always supported us. So this would be the first governor to come out and tell the people that, no, I don't agree with your election or with your appointment. And this is not right. Because every society has a right to appoint its chief that will rule them. It will be somebody coming to rule us. And this is the person that the Tangale people, feel that will be able to lead them. You can't bring somebody from somewhere that the Tangale people have not agreed to and impose on them. How can such a person rule? How can he lead the people? So it's really absurd that he would decide to bring someone else. And as I pointed out earlier on, the Tangale people are already nervous because of the past experience that they have had. Beatrice is still there. He hasn't appointed her. He has been asked to send her name. They wouldn't even send her name. So why would the Tangale people not be suspicious?
And talking about suspicion, and it all boils down to the issue of motive, right? The motive of the governor and probably some members of his cabinet. Do we, Mr. Lamela, do we have any idea? What are the permutations about the motive of the governor? What have you been hearing? or what are people insinuating?
Just like he refused to appoint Justice Beatrice. You know, we are from the minority area in Gombe State. So they want to appoint somebody. That's what I feel. That's what people have been saying. I don't know whether that's the truth. They didn't come out clearly to say this is their motive, but you can feel it. You can see it because of their action. Look at what they did to Justice Beatrice. They did not confirm her. They didn't appoint her. They didn't even submit her name. And now they are doing the same thing to our choice of our Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba. And it's unacceptable. They are twisting the law about the appointment, saying that we are supposed to send 3 names. That's what they are quoting. I heard the Secretary of the State Government say that. I heard the Chief of Police say that. Let them show me in the law, in the state government law about appointment of chieftaincy, where they did say that you are supposed to submit 3 names for the governor to appoint out of it. So why do we vote if he's going to appoint?
And still talking about answering my question a little bit directly. Do we know why he's doing this? Do we have an idea as to the motives behind these actions or inaction?
We can't read the mind of the governor. To be frank with you, we can't read his mind. So for us to come out and say that perhaps this is his motivation, we don't know. We can only speculate, and I don't think it would be fair to him, since we can't read his mind. However, some of his activities in the past, as I pointed out, tend, to make us wonder, have the Tangale people done anything to this governor that warrants his negligence of them? Or, to me, it would be like, you don't care about this group of people? Did we do anything that will cause him to do what he's doing to us? Because this is the second occasion where the governor seemed not to favor, the Tangale people. So we can only speculate. We don't know his mind, to be frank with you. We can't read his mind.
And we voted for this governor. We voted for this governor. Majority of people voted for this governor in Tangale land. And see what he's doing. It's so sad.
Yeah. Can I please add to that?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, on the issue of suspicion. So, of course, 3 things. One has already been mentioned. The issue of Justice Beatrice is one. It's a precedent that put fears in our heart. No, the second one is the delay itself. The fact that Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba has already been voted by the people. The people that the Mai is coming to rule, they voted him, and then you are delaying. This is like 4 to 5 days. Number 2. Number 3, we know some of the governor's friends, and they are on social media, and their posts on social media demonstrates to us, in fact, right from day one, their post has been demonstrating to us that the governor has a candidate, and he has a motive for that candidate. We are not fools. We read, we understand what is being said. So, and we know some of the friends, the close friends of the governor, and on social media. In fact, when we began to say that Musa has won and that is our governor, that Dr. Musa Mayamba is our next Mai, they now started posting the picture of somebody that we didn't even know. They said this is the guy that will be our Mai, whether we like it or not. So they exposed themselves, because many people didn't even know who was the person. And then now they started posting the picture. We're like, who is this guy? We don't know him. He doesn't know us. Where is he coming from? Does he have a house in Billiri? Has he been coming to visit us when we are bereaved or when we are getting married? You see, well, he may be a Tangale biologically, I don't know. He may be a Tangale biologically, but what we understand is that person whose picture they are posting is psychologically, culturally, socially, intellectually not Tangale. And we don't want a king who might be Tangale biologically, but it's psychologically, culturally, socially, and epistemologically not Tangale. That would not be good for us. So they exposed themselves. They posted pictures. So the suspicion is justified.
I mean, it doesn't make sense we are talking about someone that will be leading, that will be governing the people, that will be providing leadership. It doesn't make sense. What is the sense of having a leader that the followers do not support? Yeah.
And I don't know why those kind of people want to find themselves in that particular situation. Anyway, you know clearly that the people do not like you, and you are trying to put yourself in there. They should do the right thing and withdraw.
Yeah.
That's the absurdity of the whole matter. You know, as Andele has pointed out, the governor of Gombe State was elected. Can you imagine if maybe the governor of Kaduna State will come and tell the governor of Gombe State, look, we don't need you. We are going to bring somebody else to become the governor. It never happens that way. It never happens because the people of Gombe State chose him. They believe in him. They know that he is capable of leading the people. So for him to do that very thing to the Tangale people is just absurd. It's unimaginable. You are bringing someone that the people have not appointed. They know him. They would have appointed him if they wanted him to lead. And one of the things, the news that is floated out there is that they are trying to check the backgrounds of the individuals before the governor makes the decision to make an announcement. I say, really? Check their backgrounds? When have the people or the governor or the state done that to any chief that has been appointed? Who knows the people better than, who knows the chief better than the people of Tangale? The people of Tangale know him. That's why they appointed him. And if there is any person they needed to check the background from, it will be the Tangale people. And they have spoken. The Tangale people are very peaceful people. I'm sure your audience, some of them have never heard about the Tangale people. This is the first time they are hearing about them. And that's because, you know, we are quiet people. We're people who are 99%, I can say, or maybe over, to be more accurate, over 90% that are Christians. We are law-abiding people, never cause any problem. This is the first time people are hearing about us. And so, you know, for the governor to do that to the Tangale people, it's really not good. And, you know, this is a situation that would have been taken care of right away. There's no reason to cause, you know, to cause the people to come out. And even now, from what we are hearing, people are so agitated. And, you know, with agitation, bad individuals can come and begin to cause violence. Our message, even in the midst of this frustration, has been no violence. We encourage our people, please do not cause anything that would make the government say, blame us. And so we have advocated for, you know, for peace, peaceful demonstration. And we still advocate for peaceful demonstration. All we want is our choice of, a, you know, the chief that the Tangale people have appointed. That's all we ask for. And then all we ask is for the two candidates. And, you know, the two candidates are not saying anything. We want them to come out and clear the air. Please congratulate Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba as the new chief. And our message still goes on to the Tangale people. Keep your peace. We do not want any violence. Express your frustration. Let the governor know to please give us our choice. But then do so in a very peaceful way.
Let me show you some of the comments that people have been making. For instance, here, Waziri Ashafa says the governor should please, as a matter of urgency, approve appointment so that he will not aggravate another problem beside the common one people are facing, which is insecurity. His scheme were made obvious. So he's just calling on the governor to do the needful. And I also have a couple of comments here. Pastor Tala, Ibrahim Tali, is saying it's irrational to impose a might that does not have the support and confidence of his followers, which is some of you have already made that point. And he went on to say that the body language of the governor suggests that he does not share the same sentiment of the Tangale people, and so that is what is causing some of these permutations. And let me see whether I can see. Michelle is just saying this is a good development. I think she's referring to having this conversation. And let me see. Yeah, Aiki Ilia is saying the governor's body language shows that he's against anything that has to do with the progress and peace of Tangale land. And Andele Tadi, don't know whether he's related to Andele. He's saying that these people think that we belong to the Sultanate. Danfodio couldn't conquer the Tangale land. I want to come back to, Mrs. Helen, you made reference to peace. You were calling on peaceful demonstrations. You made several references to the people of Tangale being peaceful people. This is the first time we are witnessing, or the Tangale land is witnessing something of this nature. But reports are coming to us a couple of hours ago are showing that there have been some kind of violence. What have you been hearing about that? What is the situation report, if any one of you has had that?
Well, we've been hearing the same thing. Also that there has been some violence going on, and we have continued to stay in contact with the people, with the leaders, to ensure that no violence goes on. Our goal is never to incite any violence. Our goal is just to express our desire to give us our chief as the people have appointed. And as you know, in every situation where there are peaceful demonstrations, we don't even know who those people are that, from our understanding, are burning some buildings. There needs to be an investigation as to who the people that are burning buildings, because the Tangale people started this protest on Monday, and it has been so peaceful. This is something where the governor, all he has to do, as he promised the Tangale people, is just get up and announce, I ratify, or I approve the Mai Tangale that you people have elected. That's all he has to do. It doesn't have to be this way. The people have been patient. It's been, almost a week now, or 5 days to be precise. And all the people want is for the governor. It's just a statement. It doesn't cost him anything. It's a statement that he needs to get up. I think the governor is the one that is prolonging all these problems. And once people start getting really agitated, all kinds of things come to their mind. But we still call on our people. We are peaceful people. We are asking the leadership on ground to ensure that no violence goes on.
Yeah.
So at this point, we really don't know who went, but the people so far have been peaceful. They have been protesting peacefully.
Yeah, can I add to that, please?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, we as Tangale community overseas, which I should mention includes people in the US, Canada, Europe and Australia, we condemn in strong terms the violence. We do not support violence. But there are 4 things I would like to mention. One is that, as our mom Ellen mentioned, the vast majority of the protesters have been doing this protest peacefully. That should be established. And these are thousands and thousands of people protesting. If these people were not peaceful, Billiri would not still be standing today. So they've been peaceful. Number two, these protests have been going on for about 3 days now without anything happening. Why is this happening right now? What is happening is that people are becoming angry because the governor has continues to remain silent. That is why we are having the situation that is what is happening now. This violence was done by a handful of people. We condemn it, but that shouldn't we shouldn't paint the whole protest as something that is violent. No. Number four, we need to understand that ultimately the governor of Gombe State, Alhaji Ino Yahaya, is responsible for everything that is happening. There is violence because the governor has remained silent about this issue. He has refused to announce our elected man, and that is why there is violence. We don't accept it. We don't want violence. We want people to be peaceful. But ultimately, the governor, according to the law, is the chief security of the state. Whatever happens in terms of security is responsible. And so the governor is the one that should know how to handle this situation. For our people, we have a constitutional right to protest. We will continue to protest peacefully. We call on the young people to do it peacefully. If there are people coming from anywhere that are trying to be violent, those people should, they should be talked to. Those people should be sent back home. Especially, we encourage women to come out and protest for their land. Our mothers, they are the engine that keeps Tangale land going. They are the ones who sent us to school. Some of us are here in the US, in Europe, and in Australia because our mothers, they went to the farm. They toil on this land. They know what it means to bear children and bring those children up according to the cultural traditions and customs and norms and religions of the people of Tangale. That is why the women don't want to go back home. And they are Nigerians. They have the constitutional right to protest. So the governor should just do the needful to see that there is peace in Tangale land. The governor has the key to peace in Tangale land. He has the key to violence in Tangale land.
Wow. So,
it doesn't take them long to issue circular that they are declaring curfew, but it's taking them 5 days, more than 5 days, to just announce the choice of the people. Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba, how much time do they need? We have given them ample of time. They need to do the right thing to announce the choice of the people. That's what all we are asking for. We are not asking for anything else. And of course, we condemn any violence. And we have been living Christians and Muslims in Tangale land for generations. There has never been violence. We live next door to each other. We go to school together. We do everything together. Our friends are Muslim and Christians. There has never been any violence in Tangale land. This will be the first time.
I myself, I have brothers and sisters who are Muslims. I love them. They're my brothers. They're my blood. And I'm a Christian, and we do things together. So this is about our identity as a Tangale people. That is the crux of the issue. And that is why you see people from neighboring tribes. The Wajawas, the people of Cham, the people of Kaltingo and Shongom and Pero Chonge, the people of Kamu and the people of Waja, they are all coming. Both those who live in Billiri and those who live in their ancestral home, they are coming to Billiri to protest along with us because they know that ultimately this is about our identity as Tangale Waja people. Ultimately, this is about our heritage as Tangale Waja people. So we want to protect that, and we come together. If you look at the videos, there are Muslims in the protest. We are coming together because we understand that we need to defend our heritage and our identity as Tangale people. So we are joined together. We are united, despite some of the problems like the skirmishes that happened. But we remain united, and we refuse to allow just one single family in Tangale land or somebody who is not a Tangale to come in and cause division among ourselves. We remain united. Our Muslim brothers and sisters should know that we love them, we will protect them. Yeah, it's unfortunate what happened. We condemn it, but they remain ours and we remain together. This throne is our throne. The throne does not belong to the governor. The governor just happens to be the head of the state, Gombe State, at the moment. After 4 years, he will be gone and he will leave us with a king. We want a king who knows us. We know him, who has a house in Billiri, who has been engaging with the people, who has friends in Billiri. Tangale people are his friends. And Dr. Musa Meyamba is our newly elected Mai Tangale, and he's a young, vibrant, intelligent, loving, caring, intellectually sophisticated, yet down to earth Tangale man, whom we, the people of Tangale, we are voted, and he's equipped to lead the Tangale people to recast the moral, the cultural, the ethical, the traditional, the psychological, and the socio-economic landscape of Tangale land. That is the person we are voted, and we don't want any other person. Tangale land is our land. It's not the land of the governor. We respect the governor, but we want the governor to respect us. We respect the government, but we want the government to respect us. After all, the government is ours. In democracy, the people are the government. It's not the governor. The people are the government. When you talk about the rule of law, it is about the people. Anything that is not in the interest of the people is not democratic. It's undemocratic. The governor, in fact, it's ironic that we, the people, are calling on the governor to do the democratic thing, to obey the rule of law, to do what is right, to respect our customs, our traditions, and our cultures. And Dr. Musa Idris Meyamba is the person that we have voted, and our vote of Dr. Musa Idris Meyamba is based on our cultural tradition, based on democratic principles, is based on the will of the people, is based on the will of God, and is based on anything that agrees with reason. That is what we want the governor to do. Announce Dr. Musa, all these things will be over. Security agents, they know that we are peaceful people, but the governor has a responsibility to maintain peace in Tangale land and in Gombe State. Announce this young man, and then everything will be okay. When you announce Dr. Musa as the next Mai Tangale, you can come to Billiri peacefully. You will come, we will clap hands for you. But if you continue to do this, understand that it's not only the Tangale people that will not be happy with you. The entire Tangale Waja, even some people in Gombe North, we have friends who are Bolawa, who are Jukun. In fact, even Fulani, who are sending text messages to us. They're saying, do not allow this man to impose somebody on you. Stand on your land. Defend your land. They love us, and they are Muslims. Some of them are even Fulani. They said, we don't want this. It's causing crisis. Don't accept it. And so we are resolute. We will stand on our feet. It is our land. We have no other land. We will defend our land to whatever it takes to see that somebody is not superimposed on us.
I love the passion. My friend, I usually call him the pesetter. I just love the passion. I wish that the governor is listening, or at least will listen to some of the things that have been said here. I want us to talk about a little bit about the candidate. But before we do that, let me read some comments that have been coming here. Stephanus Tal also said that the two other, because some of you made reference that to the two candidates, the two other candidates, that they should come out and, just speak out and congratulate the one that has been elected. Stephanus Tal is saying the other two candidates have clearly shown that they do not love the Tangale nation. They know that peace will be restored by their simple action of withdrawal, but they do not care. Their ambition is worth more than the peace of the Tangale. They are not fit to rule us. Well, I pray that is not the case, that they love the Tangale people and they will do the needful. We also have Nayako, Kabrang Nayako, saying that let it be noted that available information on social media platforms that a top national security agency has rightly advised the governor to announce the people's choice for the interest of peace, yet he has kept mute that violence has now set in. Indeed, announcing Dr. Musa Idris Meyamba is the antidote to this issue. And Michelle is saying that Governor Inua should just go ahead. So these are just calls on the governor to do what is the right thing. Dr. Kobongs, Beatrice Kobongs is saying, thank you for explaining the situation. I believe the governor does not have good intentions for the Tangale people. If he announces the election results today, the protest will end. And Hamza is also saying that the governor has a hidden agenda for delaying the announcement, and so these are all calls on the governor. Also, Zipporah Ibrahim says he should go ahead. The governor should announce. People are just calling on the governor because it's as simple as that, to do what is the right thing to do. Aki Ilya is saying that the violent abroad, the women were protesting peacefully, and all of a sudden they started stoning them. So he's kind of giving us the situation report of what transpired there. Michelle says his silence is synonymous to lack of sympathy, I think referring to the governor. And Ike also said it is simple. The governor, well, I think I have read that already. And also Abishak is saying that that the secretary, she's watching a program on AIT, the secretary to the government said 3 names were given to the governor, and the governor is the one to choose, which is a contradiction to what you have already explained.
Yes.
The democratic process is not that way. The democratic process, based on the explanation we have gathered so far, is it is the kingmakers that 9 of them that elect who the next governor will be, and there is no, based on what Mrs. Helen has explained.
Mai, not governor.
Sorry?
Who the next Mai will be?
Sorry, who the next Mai, sorry, will be. Yeah. And based on what Mrs. Bako explained, there is no any limitation. Say 3 people are the ones to contest. It's people, whichever number of people contest, those 9 votes by the kingmakers will be cast, and whoever gets the majority of the votes becomes the governor. This becomes the Mai. Sorry, I keep saying the governor. Sorry about that. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to respond to the last post that mentioned the ongoing interview with one of the government officials concerning the law. Now, let's assume that there is the section of the law that we've not seen. Of course, we are not claiming to be lawyers. We have read it, but we didn't see that in the extant law. Let's assume that the law says 3 names will be submitted to the governor, and the governor chooses, the word chooses, one person chooses whoever he wishes to be the next man. How does that sound? That sounds completely undemocratic. So if there is a law in Gombe State that says that one person who does not belong to a community, who does not know or understand the traditions, the customs, and the norms, the ups and downs, the toils, the joys, and the sorrows of a community, one man will decide the leader of that community single-handedly, then that law is completely undemocratic. That law is illogical. That law, we will not accept that law. If there is a law like that that we don't know in Gombe State, we are calling on the House of Assembly of Gombe State to repeal that law. The governor and the House of Assembly change it. That law is absolutely, it sounds 1681. It doesn't sound 2021. So that law should be removed. And as a people, we are saying if there is a law like that, we reject that law. We don't accept that law. That law does not represent democracy. It doesn't represent our traditions and cultures. It doesn't represent logic and reason. That law should be removed if there is that law. I've not seen it, but that law, that entire document should be thrown into the trash. They should do the right thing.
And can I say something here?
Please.
I am really surprised because of all the tribal groups in Gombe State, can you point to any group that their chief has been appointed by the governor of the state. If that they can't point to any group, why is it that the Tangale people are the only people that the governor now decides that he's going to appoint their chief for them? That makes me begin to wonder, does the governor have anything against the Tangale people? Because we have a lot of tribal groups in Gombe State. And I can assure you, go to every tribe, go to every district, they choose their own chief. The government gives the blessing. The Tangale people are the only people that I know so far in this state that the governor has decided that he is going to appoint their chief for them. Why? And that's why earlier on we were saying we are suspicious. Does he have an agenda against the Tangale people? Are the rumors that are going on that he, wants somebody who is a Muslim? I have news for him. The Tangale people have appointed Muslims in the past. Actually, my Tafid was a Muslim, my Ilyas was a Muslim. We are not afraid to appoint Muslims. And as I earlier pointed out, 90-something% of the Tangale people are Christians. We have a minute number of people that are Muslims, but we don't even discriminate against them. When Muslim contests and the people approve of them, they have appointed them as the mice. So for the governor, to come out and say he's going to decide for the Tangale people, that is really absurd. And remember, this person that is coming to rule, he is ruling over the Tangale people. I think it will be to the best interest of the governor if the person the Tangale people have chosen, is the person that he gives his blessing, because this person will work in peace with the Tangale people. But how would the governor feel if he imposes? I feel like we are going back again, to the whites that have dominated us and impressed and put upon us leaders that we never chose. And we got independence from them in 1960. But I feel like we are going back again, backwards to the 1960s. But this time around, it's not the white man. It's the black, Nigerian that is trying to do that to his own people, imposing, someone else upon the Tangale people. So it will be to the best interest of the governor to allow the people, to allow the might that the people have chosen, to remain the might of the Tangale people, because there will be peace. This man has earned, the respect and the honor of the Tangale people, and the Tangale people are going to work very peacefully with him. So if he imposes somebody that the Tangale people have not appointed, have not agreed to, can you imagine what is going to take place? That person is not going to work well with the Tangale people. And why does the governor want that? I would think he wants, his state to remain a peaceful state. It has always been a peaceful state. And by his doing, he's trying to destabilize, the state. It's not right. Other governors that have been before him, have not done any such thing. He will be the first in history. He will go down in history as the governor that has tried to destabilize the Tangale people, and we are not going to stand by that.
Go ahead, Mr. Lamela.
Let's take, for instance, Alhaji Inua is one of the candidates. Let's say Inua got five votes, and Tadi got 3 or 2, and me got 2. And then the National Electoral Commission decided to say, hey, Alhaji Inua, you are not going to be the governor of Gombe State. We are going to give it to Tadi. What will he do as the governor? As that candidate got the highest vote. Alhaji Inua got highest vote at that time. If the National Electoral Commission decided to say, hey, yes, you got the highest vote, but we are going to give the vote to somebody else that doesn't got that vote, how will he feel? The same thing that he will feel it's happening right now. He's trying to deny our right. We voted for this candidate, Dr. Musa Idris Mayemba, as our mayor of Tangale. And that's what we're asking for. We're not asking for anything else. Just announce our candidate, announce our mayor, and everything will go back to normal. The women are sleeping on the street. Women, children are sleeping on the street. And it's cold. And they sacrifice everything sleeping on the street. That's to tell you how much they are committed to this young man. And this governor just sitting down there and saying, go back home before I announce the choice of the people? Can you imagine that? How long will it take him to do that?
Let me read more comments here, and I want us, when we come back after reading these comments, I want us to talk a little bit about the People's Choice, Dr. Musa Idris, that has been elected to be the next MAI. This is my friend. He's a pastor in Ekwa who actually went to Belirit for Ekwa Women's Conference to be the guest speaker. Unfortunately, had to be cancelled because of what's going on. But this is what he's testifying. Somebody from Kaduna State, Reverend Gambo Waziri, says, I'm not Tangale, but I've been in Belirit since Wednesday till now. Tangale people are peacemakers. I went around. It was indeed a peaceful protest with just a simple demand to announce Dr. Musa as the newly elected chief. Why will the government do that? I have testified that if only the governor had announced the People's Choice, I believe there will be peace. Then I blame them. Tangale people stand firm. So this is somebody that is not Tangale, but he's testifying that he saw the protests were peaceful and it's just a simple demand. And that is what we've been talking for the past 1 hour here, that is what the people are demanding. They are just saying, they are not even saying do something that is unconstitutional. They are just saying, give us, just give the People's Choice, just announce the person that was elected. Even if it were, I believe, all of you will agree with me that if Dr. Idris was not the one that was elected, nobody will be protesting. I mean, they just want the People's Choice, let the People's Choice be the one to be announced. They don't want anyone to be imposed or superimposed on the will of the people. And some people are saying, some of the comments you made, Reverend Kerek is saying to Andele that you made all the points straight, nothing more than that. Michelle is also saying that thanks for speaking your mind, Andele. Tadi and Zipporah is also saying, God bless you, Uncle Andele. That was some of the points you made were so profound, and people are just appreciating you for making that very, very clear. And let me see whether I can see, well, some of the comments here in Tangale. I will just put it for the Tangale people. I don't know how to read that. I don't know what it means. So you can just read whatever that means. I believe it's in Tangale. And Hamza also says that it's obvious that the person coming to rule, well, I don't really get that completely what he means there. And Celestine Pius is saying, dear governor, kindly note that the decision of Tangale people is beyond 4 or 8 years. I don't really understand what that other part means, but we also have Akilia is saying the governor, the state government has planned because even the SSG was just bluffing and misinterpreting the law. How can a professor? Well, that is a little bit personal attack there, so to speak. And Reverend Kerek is also saying, please advise those who are directing the SSG to make press conference to study his words and read in between every line of what comes out from him, because he makes any comment, before he makes any comment, he should know that he's not speaking to students, but to people who might have won the academic regalia. Well, just some cautions there about some of the comments, probably some of the unguarded comments of the SSG. Does any one of you want to respond to any of these comments before we talk a little bit about the candidate that has been elected to be the next mine?
You know, as you can see, all the comments are calling on the governor to affirm the choice of the Tangale people. All the comments. It's as simple as that. That's all we have been asking for. We wouldn't be here today discussing this if the governor has announced this candidate long time ago. The law is clear. The kingmakers will elect the next mile. The governor is to affirm him. The kingmakers have done their job. It's now left for the governor to do his. That's all we're asking for, and that's all we want.
And you know, again, based on the comments of the people, as you can see, everyone is pointing to the governor. There is no one to blame regarding this demise except the governor. If the governor will come out today and just make that announcement, let him make that announcement, people are going to withdraw. The women that are out there are going to immediately withdraw. So everything is in the hands of the governor. If he wants peace, then come out and make the announcement of the people's choice. They chose Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba as the next chief of the Tangale people. And they're begging for his blessings upon that. So, you know, whoever is making that announcement with regards to what is going on, the misinterpretation of the law, you know, they need to go back and talk to the governor. That's who they really need to be talking to, not the people. Our voices are united. All we want is for the governor to come out and support the choice of the people. They are not asking for, you know, for him to do more than that. So I applaud those that are calling in and are offering their support. And as you can see with the outpouring of support, it's very clear what is at stake at this point.
Yeah, so I just want to know that I just saw a message that says that the governor has sent some security agents to tear gas the people who are protesting peacefully this night, sending the people back home. So this is a governor who is not willing to dialogue. This is a governor who is not willing to protect the people he was voted and is being paid by taxpayers' money to protect. This is a governor who prefers violence than peace. The people, the women that are protesting on the street, they're not doing anything. They have a constitutional right to protest. But then we just heard that this night he sent security agent to tear gas these women so as to send them away. So that is the kind of governor we have.
It would be a shame for him to do that. These women are doing nothing. They just came out to call on him. These are his mothers. These are his sisters that are calling on him to please help them and just make the announcement. For him to send security agents to go tear gas the women, it will be a sad, sad story and a sad history on his part. He will go down in history as a governor that is inciting problems where there needn't be any type of problem incited by a governor as such.
Let's talk a little bit about the candidate, Dr. Idris Musa. What's the last name again?
Mayamba.
Tell me a little bit about, he seems to be quite young. Talk to me a little bit about him and what makes him so, or what makes people so endeared to him, or what makes him so endeared to the hearts of people.
From what I know, So Dr. Musa is a young man. In fact, he's younger than myself because he went to school with somebody I know. So that is one. He's young, so you can see why young people are like, this is a guy we want. He will lead us in the 21st century. We need somebody like that. But another thing is, of course, he's a medical doctor. He's learned. In fact, he had just started his grad school in the UK before all these things. And so he's someone who is really learned, and he has worked as a medical doctor, from what I understand, in Abuja for like more than 10 years. He has done a lot of community work as a medical doctor with teams, around the country. He is also somebody that if you meet him, is very relational. He loves people, and he's down to earth. He comes down to your level. He visits people at their house. He talks to young people. He has a lot of young people who are his friends. He respects the elders. And so he has these leadership qualities that you can see in him, even though he's a prince, but he's a man of the people. He understands that leadership is all about relationship. So Dr. Musa knows us in Tangale, and we know him. That is the thing. He knows us, and we know him. And so that is why he has all of this support from people not only in Tangale but beyond, because his relationship cuts across the country. His support across the country. People are pouring his support for him because he has a network of relationships with people who are not Tangale. He is gentle. He's so kind and caring. He's generous. He has been helping people in different ways. Who doesn't want a leader like that? So that is why you see all of this massive support for Dr. Musa.
And as you were talking about Dr. Musa being a young man, my mind, as a believer, I'm not ashamed to profess that I'm a Christian. My mind quickly went back to Josiah in the Old Testament. He was only 8 years old when he was appointed as the king of the Jewish people. But he had elders around him that worked with him, and he turned out to be a very, very, very good king, as we've heard. So Dr. Musa, although young, as Andele has already pointed out, people have seen quality in him. First of all, he's from the royal family. Mm-hmm. So they are not picking someone outside of the royal family. And this young man was already in school. Can you imagine? For the Tangale people to pull him away from UK because he has gone to school. They must understand that there is something about the young man that they are willing to pull him away from his education so that he can come and lead the Tangale people. And as you've already heard, he's a medical doctor. He's young. He's a visionary. He's a man that is relatable. People relate well to him. So they have seen the quality in him that warrants that of a chief. And that's why the elders, and remember those kingmakers are not young people, they are elderly people. And if our elders can look at this young man and decide, hey, this is the man that can lead the Tangale people, as other chiefs have led the Tangale people, let's pick him. You know that the words of the elders, as they say, is very powerful. And so they have seen something in the young man, and they decided that he is the one, the choice of the entire Tangale people. And so these are the qualities that the people have seen in Dr. Musa.
As I agree with all these qualities. Also, look at the sacrifice that he's doing. He has spent all his time studying, and he's leaving it all behind to come and serve his people, which that demonstrates to you the quality that he has. Going to medical school, and then you are being called back home to come and serve your people. What else can you ask of any leader in life? That's one of the things that I admire about him. He can decide to say, no, I don't want it. I've wasted all these years trying to become a medical doctor. I'm going to continue with my medical school with my postgraduate school in United Kingdom, and refuse to come. But he answered the call of the people and came back home. What kind of quality? That's the quality of a man we are talking about, a young man that we are talking about. Personally, I've never met him. I don't know him personally. However, the kingmakers and the people saw that this young man is the right man for us. And that's why I'm supporting him, because of the qualities and what we saw in him.
All right. So before we go, maybe the last question I have before I allow you to say any other thoughts you have, especially I want you to speak. We'll wrap it up. I will just allow you to speak with the people that are currently on the street and the situation specifically to people that are protesting. But before we do that, I guess my last question is. The kingmakers, these 9 people that we are talking about, have they issued out any statement? Have they said anything about what is going on right now? And what is the worst? Let's imagine. I'm not a pessimist. I believe everything will be resolved amicably, but just painting a scenario, let's imagine that at the end of the day, it's not Governor, it's Dr. Musa is not appointed or is not confirmed by the governor. Another person is confirmed. What kind of scenario do you envisage? Who is responsible, legally speaking, or culturally or traditionally speaking? Who is responsible in that kind of situation to speak out, to handle such kind of situation?
We don't even want to think about the fact that Musa is not going to be affirmed. We truly believe he's going to be affirmed. We've been praying hard to our God, and we know that he's going to be affirmed. However, if the governor chooses not to, really, the people are standing strong. We will take legal action, even if it takes us to the Supreme Court, because we want to be able to settle this in the right way, amicably. We do not, again, intend to cause any violence. But our people are determined. If it means taking this case to the Supreme Court, we are ready, that we are willing, that we are going to fight this in the court of law. So our goal and our hope is that Musa, the choice of the people, will be crowned as king. You're talking about the king makers and the leadership we have on ground. They are the ones going about telling people to calm down, to calm down. I mean, the governor should be the one calling the kingmakers and talking to them. The governor has not spoken, to our leadership. And we are just hearing he's just sending people to tear gas the women that are demonstrating, protesting peacefully. So we are hoping and we are praying and we are believing that Musa is going to eventually be crowned the chief of Tangale.
Yeah, let me add to that. As she mentioned, we are very optimistic that after all is said and done, the governor is going to do the will of the people and the will of God by announcing Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba as our next Mai Tangale. We have what is called Tangale Community Development Association, TCDA. They are responsible for issues like this. If the governor refuses to honor the will of the people, of course, we will follow the legal route. We don't want to think about that, but in case that becomes a possibility, the TCDA, we believe, will do something. And all of us, Tangale's sons and daughters, home and abroad, Christians and Muslims, men and women, children and the old people, all of us will stand with the TCDA to make sure that our sovereignty as a people is not messed up with. We'll make sure that the person we want as our next Mai is announced, and it becomes the Mai of Tangale. We will stand by the TCDA. We will give that support, legally, intellectually, financially, emotionally, spiritually. We will support every cause to make sure that Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba becomes our next Mai.
You know, as my auntie and my brother said, we are ready to go all the way to the Supreme Court if the governor did not announce the choice of the people, which we hope Alhaji Inua will do the right thing, the honorable thing, and announce the choice of the people, Dr. Musa Idris Mayamba. That is our prayer. That is our hope that the governor will do that. However, if all that is failed and he announced somebody else, then our next step is to take the matter to the court. And if it means going all the way to Supreme Court, as they said, we are ready to do that. We are going to sacrifice every penny. Let me tell you, our parents, when farming, have been farming to support us to go to school. Let me tell you, these women are going to do everything they can do. They can sacrifice everything to make this happen, to pay for this medical, to pay for these fees to go to Supreme Court. We have lawyers. They are going to sacrifice their time, and we are ready to support it any way possible. That's our prayer. But our prayer is that the governor will do the right thing and announce Dr. Mayamba as our next Mai of Tangale.
I wanted to talk to the people that are currently there protesting. Your wife, Andele, says that, Malame Andele says that people are dispersed by the security and the destruction is huge and shall be condemned in strong terms, while the people should remain resolute. I wanted to speak to the people, anyone that may be watching this, especially people that are protesting. Sometimes there will be anger and resentment and what have you. I want you to speak to your people at home.
I really want to call on the Tangale people. Hopefully some of them are listening. We are peaceful people and we call on you to remain peaceful. You don't want other people to disrupt the cause, what we are trying to fight for. We want you to remain peaceful. We want the leaders to talk to the young people, to calm them down, but to remain resolute in terms of their expression of desire, the choice that they want. We know that all you want is your choice, the Maitangle that you have chosen. We call on the governor again of Gombe State. You are a governor. We are asking you, all these problems will not, of violence will not come up if only you come out. We are pleading with you, come out and announce the appointed Maitangle, the choice of the people. We are calling on you. We are begging you to please come out. At the same time, we are calling the Tangale people to calm down, not involved in any violence. We do not encourage any violence, and we want people to calm down.
As we have always called on the people, no violence. The government may agitate us, so we should resist that temptation to destroy any property in Tangale land. We are destroying our land. We are destroying our property. We are destroying ourselves. We should resist that temptation. I know it's hard. We know that it's very difficult to resist this kind of temptation. However, we should remain resolute. We know the fight we are fighting is not easy, but destruction will not solve the issue. The best way of doing it is peaceful. let's continue to do our peaceful demonstration as we have been doing, and resist the temptation of going violent, because destroying somebody's property or a government structure does not help in building the structure in anything in Tangale land. And we call on Governor Inua to do the right thing. We have been calling on him many times. We have really issued press release for him to do the right thing and announce our choice, Dr. Musa Idris Mayemba, as the next My Tangale.
Yeah, so it's all the same thing. Peace is what we want. Our people should be peaceful. We still reiterate that they have a constitutional right to protest, but it should be peaceful. We call on the young people, please do not take the law into your hands. And these properties, they are our properties, regardless of who owns them. They are properties. Please be peaceful, and young people just stay at home. Let our mothers, Tangale women are known to be strong women, to stand and defend their land. They can do it. Let our mothers and our sisters do this. The energy and the strength you have, stay at home. Maybe it's time you begin to cook and do other things at home. Let the women stand for us. So we are calling for peace. We condemn in strong terms. Once again, I want to reiterate this. We condemn in strong terms the violence. We don't want it. We didn't expect it. It's unfortunate that it happened. And we still call on the governor that if he had done the right thing, all these things would not have happened. So he is the chief security of the state according to the law. So he has the keys. I repeat again, the governor has the keys to peace and the keys to violence in Tangale land. So we are confident that our God will do it for us. Yeah, the God of peace will fill our hearts and fill our land with peace and prosperity.
Let it be known that all this destruction is the responsibility of the governor. He caused it. Let everybody in the world know that it's the governor who caused this. If he has announced this choice of the people, there wouldn't be a single thing, any destruction. He refused to announce it. He instigated the people. The people are peaceful, and we are peaceful, and we will remain peaceful, irrespective of what he does. Governor Inua, we call on you, please announce the choice of the Tangale people, Dr. Idris Mayemba.
Thank you so much. What a way to end this. Thank you so much for availing your time to clarify this issue, to discuss about this issue that is a funny issue right now in Tangale land. I want to appreciate all of you, Lamela Lakorok, Mrs. Helen Bako, and Pastor Andele Tadi. Thank you so much for agreeing to come and for all the valuable contributions you have made in discussing this particular issue. And I want to thank you also, the Tangale community overseas, for agreeing to send this delegation to have this conversation. For all of you that participated and contributed and commented and asked questions and shared this video, I want to also say thank you to you. Until I come your way next time with another interesting episode of the interview. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.